Hey everybody, thank you for joining me on this rainy day. Today we're just simply going to go over updates on some of the fixed knives that I've had out on some of my videos, kind of give you guys an update on how they've been performing. Uh, Getting pretty close to 1 year for one in particular, so stay with me guys. We are going to simply do 3 fixed blade knives this video. And these are basically the 3 that I've been most currently going through my rotation as far as carrying them and using them. And the first one is going to be, these are all the same brand, by the way. These are the efengrows, and this is kind of the one that started it all for me, the 129 Tonto point. Coming up, I think, if not already, but we're coming up close to a year with this one. I gotta say, guys, it's performed quite well. This thing is really tough and holds an edge pretty well. I did some earlier videos not long after I got it. We even did kind of an abuse test with this thing, real hard use test. It's held up fantastic. So my coffee cup out of the way. Put that bad boy there. And one of notice now, this is the one I typically carry. It's got the black handle, but it's the same knife. But I've kind of side partnered with this one. I carry it off and on with the black one, and this one has done not quite as much work as the black handled one, but pretty close. It's done a lot of woodwork for sure. So this one is the efengrow EF121, and this one's in the D2 steel, and this one is in the DC53. And the last one is one I currently got on my side. I've been carrying out in the woods quite a bit here as of late, and I'm really liking this one. This is the EF134. It's another Tonto point. This blade's pretty scuffed up. I mean, I've been using the heck out of it. It's done quite a lot of wood splitting and just wood carving in general. I've not been easy on it. So those are going to be the 3 knives we're going to focus on today's video. Make some room here. So real quick, we'll get the camera reset here, and I'll get you guys a little shot of all 3 of these knives real quick. Like I said, now these are been actually for the most of this year are the primary ones that I've been kind of switching back and forth with. I like to switch it up because it gives me the opportunity to continually test, and I can change it out. Ooh, that coffee's nice and hot. So this, like I said, now this one right here, the 134, is currently the one I've been using the most. Well, it's currently, I should say, it's currently the one I'm carrying on me. This little guy has gotten quite a large amount of use, and I gotta say that they did very, very good job on this D2. Holds an edge very well. It's been, I can't even tell you how much wood I've carved with it. Now this guy here, I think it's kind of gone to, I'm going to say, more like a survival knife kind of deal, where I'm going to have this thing probably in a bag, some kind of kit knife. So this is going to be my, a lot of bad things have happened. So this guy's going to come out because this thing is so thick and hardy. That tip is insane, guys. So, I mean, this is kind of going to be like, stuff's hit the fan kind of thing for me. It's so robust, and it's got a good profile. It's not too big or small. One thing to take into consideration too is how far wide across the blades are. There's a big difference on these. Now, this one gets much wider very fast, as it goes up through here. So this thing actually splits incredibly well. Once you start getting just underneath the logo here, the dimensions widen out quite rapidly. So it actually makes a good splitting wedge. And it kind of has a little bit of a combat knife vibe to it, on top of just being an all-around good user. We got this nice piece here in the back that you could actually use for crushing walnuts. It's not like really aggressive, so it won't really spark a ferro rod. Doesn't scrape the greatest, but I mean, if you were inclined to do so, you could probably take a belt sander and some files or something like that. You could probably hard 90 these if you'd like. But for the most part, it's nice to have that for breaking up bark, or, you find some kind of walnuts or something like that you want to get through to get something to eat. It'll work absolutely fine for that. Or maybe you're working on building something and you have to do something with some rocks. You can actually, tap that in there and kind of crush on them or try to break them up. But yeah, that DC-53 steel, guys, it's really nice. So now, if you were to ask me which one I like the most, well, really don't have an actual answer for that, because it kind of comes down to philosophy of use. Like, typically, like if I'm just going to be out and about town or something like that, or I'm going to be in a lot of public places, something like this, I'll usually roughly this size is something what I'd prefer to carry. And right now, that's what I am using this for. Like I said, it's durable enough, and it'll handle anything I need to do in an emergency situation, and it's not too intrusive. Decent size. Shirt. I pull my shirt down right over it. I can't really tell I've got it. So that makes it quite handy for me to carry in around public areas and stuff. And it's still very functional. It's very tough and durable. It can still get the job done. So, I got a lot of confidence in carrying this. So, and that makes that incredibly handy. Now, this is something I'm going to tend to wear around my property, just my daily things around the house, whatnot. If I get busy and have to go into town, it's on my side, so be it. It's not like a super big deal out where I live. But, in general, if I'm out in the field, I'm probably, I want this larger knife. It's beefier. It can do a little bit of chopping, though it's not like, I wouldn't say anything like a good or a great chopper. It's decent, but it's definitely more capable for its splitting wood and just all around use. It's a larger knife. So out here in the country where I live, it's a little bit more practical for me. And this thing holds edge very well. I can do some very slicey tasks with this blade. And all three of these, like I said, they got dedicated videos to it. So if anybody's new, hasn't seen those videos, and you want to see more of what these things are capable of, they're there on my playlist. Just look for them. Except for, I think, the first one or two of these, I'm not sure if I had it on any particular playlist, but it's definitely down there. Since we talking about that, let me go ahead and grab this guy up. Like I said, this thing's pretty tanky, and for as tanky as it is, it does slice wood pretty good. Like I said, this to me is kind of like, some bad things have happened, and I kind of want some robust, beefy, tanky kind of knife. And this thing, it's not like really designed for a chopper, but since it's got that extra mass up near the front and just about right through here and here on this blade, it does pretty decent. Especially, if you're chopping something, I'm going to say this being probably the largest you want to go to, but really excels at chopping items around that diameter. So you can get a kind of an idea. And of course, it really matters if you're doing hardwood, softwood. If I can get it for most uh, things related to fire, especially getting one started, I'm always usually going to go for pine. That's what we got out here in the neck of the woods that is kind of like the tree to go to for fire starting stuff, especially the pine resin. And the pine resin itself can be used medically too. So that's something to keep into consideration. Like I said, now I can't tell you that this is the best knife for you. It depends on where you live, what your environment like, your ecosystem. You may be in a place where you got nothing but a lot of hardwoods and stuff, so you might need to step it up on your belt knife. Like, man, I need a dedicated chopper or something for splitting, and you can carry a smaller folding pocket knife or something like that for your fine task. Which is, if that's the way it is for you in your location, then that's cool. That you'll just have to, and I believe me, I don't own nearly enough of these, but efengrow I think has pretty much a knife for everything. There's a lot more of them out there. I like to get my hands on to do some more reviews on, and whenever I'm capable, I will. But right now, got to look after bills and family. Got a young toddler, and I got another child soon to be on the way here in the near future. So, got to spend my money as wisely as possible. So, I can't go buying a whole bunch of new knives and stuff, much as I would love to. The cool thing is, though, like I said, efengrow has pretty much a knife to fit just about any kind of need you might run across. Like I said, there's a few uh, that I've seen on Legion Tactical. Grugs has had quite a large amount of them bad boys on there, and there's been a few I saw that are kind of on my wish list. They may they'll come in eventually. Like I said, when I get the chance to have the extra fundage, get a little more side jobs with the tractor and the little dump truck, might be able to save up money, get some stuff. Now, there's been some more budgetary companies that have been coming up and been producing some good stuff. But as far as for me personally, if I'm looking for with my own experience, so I'm not saying that the other companies aren't good. I just don't got the experience with them yet to say the yay or nay. But judging by my own experience with efengrow, like they're like the ticket for me. It's like some very budget-friendly knives that are fantastically well built. I still am not a fan of them. If I have my preference, I don't want cutouts, but this one in particular has cutouts. Now, that's a pretty thick steel, mind you, and it's a DC53, and it's similar to D2 steel, but it's actually tougher, so it's less likely you're going to suffer breakage. And I have mollywopped this knife now for, I'm going to think I've had this one for maybe 7-8 months, maybe 7. In that time, I've really put this thing through the ringer. I have battened it through so much wood, carved so much wood. I've even, I've stabbed it in the oak logs just every once a whip stitch. I just feel like testing the tip out that day. This one isn't quite as robust as the 129, but that's still pretty robust tip. And this, like I said, this DC53 steel, man, does it perform. It's becoming one of my favorite steels. It's fantastic, guys. So if you're asking me, I can't say which one of these knives are the best because, like I said, it really depends on where I'm going, or maybe I have a specific task in mind or task, as I set out that day. But what I'm saying is the ones that I have been showing you that, I've given the thumbs up to, they've all been good performers. So I don't think you can go wrong with either. It really comes down to wherever you're at, are you able to carry a larger blade, not get in trouble or, freak people out? It shouldn't really be that way, but it is that way nowadays. So, but out here where I'm at, it's no big deal. I mean, I can still walk down the city street with a full size machete on my belt, and not too many people will bother you about it. But something like this, no problem. The thing is, if you're out there acting like a fool, then you're going to be a problem, because that sort of thing's not tolerated too well out where I live. So going back to the functionality, these knives have not only met but vastly exceeded expectations. Like I said, I sound like a huge fanboy, but that's because I found something that was at a very affordable price point that actually had enough quality build to it to say, like, okay, I can actually use these in emergency kits, survival kits, bug out bags, inch bags, go bags, truck. I could throw them in a truck somewhere underneath the seat, whatever. I know. Then I got a very reliable cutting tool, and I can mix and match based on what my needs might be, or just perceived needs. Like, hey, I want something bigger. No problem. I want something more small and easier to carry, far lighter weight. No problem. It's fantastic. They even got knives out for self defense, all that sort of thing. Some where it's more dedicated woodsman's, more big heavy choppers, stuff like that. They got it. So, and like I said, it's not necessarily I set out to do an efengrow video today. It's just right now. It was the new knives that I'd purchased that I had to have for a while to put them through testing and practical use, and then quite frankly extreme abuse. Like with this one, the things I did with this one is just it was extreme abuse. I mean, I didn't go Joe X on it, but it was pretty heavy duty abusive testing I did with this guy. I didn't even so much as receive the roll in the steel on the edge of the blade. So I got a lot of pats on the back for that this company and the products they've been making. And why that's important to me, it's like I really truly believe everybody should be as prepared as possible. And when you start getting into the knives, hatchets, saws, backpacks, and all that stuff, man, oh man, you could really get expensive really fast. And that's why I was like, okay, I found a product that's like bulletproof, and it's actually very reasonably affordable. And like some of it, like this thing here, I mean, it's crazy cheap. This thing was like $50, I think, and it performs like a $200 knife. It's like, that's amazing. So now you got something I could, actually, I'm not afraid to stake my life on this thing. I've got it in my pack, or whatever the situation may be. Maybe I had to swap it out. This was in my kit. I might have been having this on my side. Now I can pop this off, put it in my kit as my backup fixed blade. Bad crazy stuff's going on. Now I got this thing on my side. Far more capable. It's just like that gives you a lot of freedom to do more things, in my opinion, when you have a more open budget. You don't have to sink all that money into the one item. Like, okay, well, I can get this $250, $500 fixed blade knife. Now I have to save up for 6 to 8 months, in some cases, maybe even a year before I can get another piece of kit. This allows you to get a really good fixed blade, have plenty of money left over for other stuff to get that kit squared away. Excuse me, guys. Need some more coffee. I'm getting dry. And I know it's a diuretic. It's not about hydration. It's just my mouth was dry. All right. Let me reset the camera here, guys. We don't want to make this an ethical. Well, this is my honest opinion on them. These three right here, since I've been testing them, have performed admirably. They've, like I said, they've met and exceeded all my expectations. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to put this one back in the sheath. Like I said, I've real world tested these now, going on close to a year. I think the 121 here was the third out of the 3 that I bought, but you know, they were all bought fairly close together. This one was the first. This was it, and I bought 2 of these at the same time because I was that confident after having the other 2, the 134 and this 129. I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just buy 2 of them because I want to have one for a backup. So I got 2, and I've not regretted it. These things are, like I said, they've blown my mind the entire time I've owned them. Like I said, I'm not crazy about tech locks, and I've removed the tech locks. I swap these out with a different belt loop option. So right now, the ones I'm not actually carrying, I don't have anything on them for the belt loops, but that's just because I don't like tech locks. They are better than nothing, but I swear I'm such a big and wide guy. If I sit down with that tech lock on, because I don't like carrying Scout, something like this, I probably wouldn't mind too much across the small of my back. But, you know, like I sit down with the tech lock on, and it's one of those deals. Put this thing in a sheath here real quick. You know, so the tech lock is on this thing. So your carry point where it rides across your belt's going to be roughly here somewhere, because it can't go up over this molded spot here. So you're looking at this thing sticking at least that far above your belt. And when you sit down, it naturally just wants to go this way, and this thing sticks up so far that actually gouges into my lower ribs. And the smaller one, you know, it's in between my ribs and my spine, and you know, right there, not comfortable. Some people may have a body shape where it's not an issue, which is a good bonus, because then you can use your tech lock if you want to carry up and down. Like that's how I like to carry. Now, if I could have something like the tech lock, so this is your up and down and horizontal here. This would be like your Scout carry. Now, I wouldn't mind being able to carry at this angle. Now, what this may allow to do, whereas normally I carry my belt knife straight up and down on my right side, I'm right-handed. If I could have it canted at that angle, then I could carry this knife on my left side closer towards parallel with my pec, and then it'd be easy to grab and pull this for a fast kind of draw. For it's more of a tactical kind of combat thing. But you know, personal preferences, guys. The important thing is either way you got the knife on you. So just try to get through this without too much more rambling. If you are interested in the efengrow knives, like I said, now I've got full reviews. There's the 129 has just the video when I first got it, and I just kind of did a reveal. Then I did part 1, part 2 of some heavy duty tests, and same with the 134. It had some pretty not wasn't near as brutal as that 129 test, but it was still a pretty good test. Then I did a field test with it, but the little ones that had a pretty good basic test. I was here in the outhouse, did an outhouse review, went through my basic testing, and it passed with flying colors. So if you're interested in checking those out, they're there on my video list. You can hunt them down and watch them. So guys, I appreciate your time. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you had some good coffee to sip along with me. And I'll see y'all in another video.